Hi, welcome to the channel. My name is Aaliyah, and today we're going to be talking about kefir. So, first off, what is kefir? Kefir is a probiotic, sparkly, delicious beverage. So, here I have 2 finished kefirs and 2 in progress kefirs. So, the process is you first let it ferment to a first ferment, and then you second add some juice, let it sit closed for a second ferment, and that will create a little bit of extra flavor and some bubbles. So I'm going to pour myself a drink here so you can see how bubbly and delicious it is. You can see I've already been drinking it today. Yeah, so cheers. Okay. So the first time you pop a bottle is kind of like champagne. You have to hold it real tight, closed, and let it hiss. So kefir grains are, this is water kefir, by the way. There's also milk kefir. I don't do that. That's more like yogurt. The kefir grains are like bacteria, little weird blobby things. And they will consume sugar and turn it into probiotic goodness. So the first thing we're going to do is open our first ferment kefir jars. I'm going to take a little sip. Yeah, it's good. Got to make sure it's done. So it should have like a sour flavor, a little bit sour, a little bit sweet. That one's good too. Okay, it's a little bit sweet, a little bit sour. You can, I don't know if you can see that, but sometimes it'll make little bubbles coming up as it consumes the sugar. Now, I have 2 empty jars that I'm going to put it in. And pardon me. I gotta get my strainer. So the process is really simple. First, we're gonna add a little bit of juice to the bottom of these juice bottles. I prefer to use 100% juice. I prefer to use organic juice. This is not organic juice. But you gotta do what you gotta do. So, added my juice, and then we're just gonna dump most of the contents, not all of the contents, of these jars into the secondary ferment holding vessel. Oops. Oh, yeah, I'll do that for the next one. So we'll do that for both of these. And what you're using for the strainer here is because you can see, here, I'll just do the whole thing. You can see that in the bottom of these jars are the kefir grains. So I'm just going to show these to you. So, see those grains? Let's see. This? They're kind of like little tiny gelatinous cubes, but they're not. I don't know. They're kind of slimy, but they're really firm too. Weird. I don't know. Soft, firm things. And There. So now, here's these. Those are done. All we have to do now is pop lids on them and stick them back over where we keep those. Now we're gonna make the next batch of kefir. So I'm gonna get a container, any container, and some sugar. Yes, I put sugar in old coffee containers because 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm gonna do 5 this time because that kefir was pretty sweet this time around. It's supposed to be about 1/4 cup sugar to a jar of water, but I like to wing it. So then we're just gonna add water, kind of warm-ish, but not too warm, tap water. Only tap water if you have, actually, yeah, if you have safe tap water. So we have tap water that comes out of a well. There's no chlorine, or if there is, there's just a teeny bit. And it's really good, safe water. If you have city water, please don't use that for your kefir. You're going to have to use filtered water. And then we're just gonna add the sugar water to the kefir grains. And you guys, that's literally all we do. So it's like, check this out. This is medicinal. It is super good for your gut, for your whole system. It is free, practically free. Look, I have, these are coffee filters. That's what I use. You could also use cheesecloth, something like that. But you want it to be breathable. You put your lid back on. Coffee filters, I love. They just work so well. When they get wet, well, toss them, but these ones are not wet. They're still in good condition, so I'm just gonna reuse the same ones I used last time. There we go. That kefir is also done. So it's basically free, super healthy, almost medicinal, sweet, kind of tart, super delicious, fizzy beverage. Yum. We drink it all the time. Almost zero waste. You just keep using your grains over and over and over again. Sometimes you need to feed them, add a teeny bit of molasses or maybe a teeny bit of baking soda, and then sometimes you give them a break, you know, rinse them off and put them in the fridge for a day or so, but and then multiply more and more and more and more till you finally get too many, and then you make another jar. So this started out as 1 jar, now it's 2 jars. It'll become more and more jars, which will be good because honestly, we go through this much kefir. So these are gonna be set in the back with the other ones covered with this cloth. I'm just gonna cover them up to keep the light out, okay? There we go. What was I gonna say? When your second ferment is done, like these are, they need to go in the fridge. That'll slow down, almost stopping your process, because you don't want it to get too done. It'll just end up being really, really sour, which is fine. I still drink it, but it makes it less fun. So first ferment takes 2 to 3 days. Well, 3 days. First ferment takes 3 days. And then the second ferment takes the same exact amount of time. So I just leave them over there every 3 days. I do this process and that's it. And we have kefir So I hope you learned something. And if you've got any questions, I love talking about kefir. Please let me know. Thanks. Bye.